All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we're going deep to the world where, like, consciousness bumps into quantum physics.
It's a good one.
And we're going to see if our thoughts can really, like, shape reality.
Big questions.
Yeah. So, to guide us, we've got some Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's got a couple books, Becoming Supernatural, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Classic.
And then we've got some new research, too.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, so by the end of this deep dive, hopefully you'll get how changing your thoughts and feelings can actually change the world around you.
Yeah, it's like all this ancient wisdom is finally like taking hands with science.
It is.
They're both saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's
we
what I'm
got all this power inside.
More than we realize.
Whoa, way more.
Okay, so the subconscious mind, where do we even begin? Dr. Dispenza, he calls it our autopilot, right?
Oh, yeah.
Running on old beliefs and feelings.
Totally.
He calls this thinking, feeling loop.
That's the one.
So we think a certain way, makes us feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And then those feelings fuel more of those same thoughts.
Right. It's exhausting.
It is like a merry-go-round. You can't get off.
So how do we get on?
Well, that's where meditation comes in.
Okay.
Dr. Dispenza says it's like hitting the brakes on that merry-go-round.
I like that.
Slows down our brain waves, right?
Yeah.
From beta to alpha, theta.
Right. Like shifting gears, going from speeding to a stroll.
I love that.
Yeah.
So then we can finally get into our subconscious.
Get in there.
Start changing stuff.
Totally. And there's even the gamma state. That's like super consciousness, you know. Big transformations happen there.
So there's this story he tells about this person.
Oh, yeah.
They kept recreating the same bad relationship patterns, but in their job.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that wild?
Subconscious, man, it's powerful.
It is.
Even if you change your environment.
Doesn't matter.
Those patterns, they're sneaky.
Yeah, so to deal with those patterns, we've got the energy centers. He talks about 7 of them.
Okay.
In our bodies, each with its own frequency, hormones, even a mini brain.
Like little mini brains.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And they can get blocked, though.
Oh, yeah.
Negative emotions, stress, you know.
Throws everything off.
Yeah, like your heart or lungs.
Yeah.
If they're not working, right?
Whole system's messed up.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so to get things flowing again, Dr. Dispenza, he teaches this blessing of the energy centers meditation.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. So you're sending energy to each center, getting things balanced.
Makes sense.
So then it gets really interesting when we bring in the quantum field.
Okay, here we go.
Dr. Dispenza describes it as like a place beyond space and time where all these possibilities exist.
I'm with you.
But the crazy part is our thoughts and feelings can actually interact with this field.
Wait,
Yeah.
so we can influence reality?
That's what he's saying.
With our minds?
Yeah, it's not just wishful thinking.
Okay, this is big.
It is. It's like we're sending out these signals.
With our energy.
And the universe is like...
responding.
Yeah, it's responding.
So how do we make that signal stronger then?
That's the question, right?
Okay.
So he talks about you need clear intention, but also strong emotions.
Right.
Can't just be in your head.
Gotta feel it, gotta feel it.
Embody it like it's already happening.
So it's not just thinking positive, it's feeling it.
Totally. Amp up that signal.
Yeah, make it loud and clear.
I like that.
And he tells this story about his own son, Jace.
Oh, wow.
He wanted a new job,
Right.
and he used these principles to get it.
No way.
He visualized the job, felt all the feelings.
The excitement, the purpose, all that.
Yeah, and he got it.
That's amazing.
It is so focused, intention.
Powerful emotions.
Yeah, it can change your life.
I love it.
Okay, so now let's talk placebo effect.
All right.
This is like mind-body connection in action.
Classic example.
Yeah, so it shows our beliefs and expectations can actually...
Yeah, like our mind has its own pharmacy. Dispensing healing chemicals.
Based on what we believe.
Isn't that wild?
It's wild, but it's real.
There's science backing it up.
There is.
Studies show it can be as effective as some medications.
Especially for like pain.
Yeah, and depression. And the key ingredients are belief, expectation.
And surrender.
Yeah. So we're tapping into our own healing power just by changing
our minds.
Our minds, yeah. And that brings us to epigenetics.
Okay, so this is how our thoughts
Yeah.
can actually affect our genes.
Isn't that crazy?
Epigenetics is a game changer.
It is. It's saying our genes, they're not fixed.
That's set in stone.
So we're not just victims.
Wait, does it say?
Yeah, our thoughts and feelings.
Can rewrite the script.
They can. It's powerful stuff.
It is. We can influence how our genes express themselves.
Yeah, totally. All right, so speaking of powerful internal states,
Oh, yeah.
let's talk about the pineal gland.
The mysterious pineal gland.
Dr. Dispenza, he calls it an alchemist. Yeah, because it can transform melatonin into these powerful neurotransmitters.
Right.
And that can lead to like mystical experiences.
Whoa.
And this broader perception of reality.
So like expanding our consciousness.
Yeah, for centuries, it's been linked to spiritual awakening.
I can see why.
And now science is starting to figure it out.
Catching up.
So he says if we activate it through meditation.
Oh, wow.
It's like unlocking this whole new dimension.
Upgrading our perception.
Yeah, like we can see beyond our 5 senses.
That's wild.
It is. Okay, but before we go too far down that rabbit hole, let's talk about those limiting beliefs.
Oh, yeah.
And all the emotional baggage we carry around.
That can hold us back.
For sure, we can have all the knowledge, but
if we're chained to those old patterns,
it's not going to work.
We got to break free.
Yeah, so Dr. Dispenza says we need to break free from emotional addiction.
Even to positive emotions.
Yeah, that's what he says.
How is that possible?
He explains, even positive emotions can be a crutch.
Oh.
So we're avoiding uncomfortable feelings.
I see.
Clinging to what's familiar, and that limits us.
Right. Got to create space for new experiences.
Yeah, so he shares this story about Candace.
Okay.
She overcame her addiction to unhappiness.
Addiction to unhappiness, that's...
It sounds strange, right?
It does.
But she was clinging to negativity.
Wow.
And it was making her suffer.
Yeah.
But once she let go...
she could finally experience joy.
Yeah, so it shows we have the power to choose.
Our emotions.
Our emotions, yeah. We're not just victims.
Of our circumstances.
Okay, so let's bring in some evidence.
All right.
What about case studies, scientific research, all that?
Well, Dr. Dispenza's work, it's full of amazing case studies. People who have changed their lives just by...
changing their mind.
Changing their minds, yeah. Incredible healings.
Give me an example.
Okay, so there's Anna.
Okay.
She healed from esophageal cancer.
Wow.
She decided to change her life, embraced meditation.
And she healed.
She healed.
That's incredible.
It is. It shows the mind-body connection is real.
It's not just positive thinking.
None.
It's about making real changes.
To your thoughts, beliefs, actions.
And there's science to back it up.
Absolutely.
Brain scans, heart rate measurements, they all show changes.
It's amazing.
So our thoughts and feelings.
They affect our physical reality.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
It is, and it gets even more interesting.
Really?
Yeah, there's some cutting-edge research.
Whoa, okay, I'm listening.
It's about how meditation affects the immune system.
Whoa.
Specifically, how it might help fight viruses.
Meditation and immunity, I'm intrigued.
They've been using a pseudovirus similar to SARS-CoV-2.
Okay.
And the findings are pretty amazing.
Tell me more.
They took plasma from meditators after a week-long retreat.
Okay.
And it decreased viral entry into lung cells.
Wow. So meditation could be boosting our defenses?
Against viruses.
Yeah, they're still figuring out exactly how.
That's incredible.
They found that if you heat the plasma, it disrupts this effect. So there's some specific protein involved.
That's what they think.
Yeah. This is groundbreaking.
It is.
Our thoughts and feelings affecting our immunity.
It's a whole new frontier.
It's pretty wild, right?
It is. It's like we've just opened the door to this incredible power.
I know, when I first started reading this stuff, it felt like science fiction.
Right.
But now I'm starting to think, maybe we haven't even scratched the surface.
It's like we've been living in black and white, and now we're seeing color.
Ooh, I like that.
Our beliefs, they kind of limit us, you know? But quantum physics, it shows us this universe that's way more...
flexible.
Yeah, flexible and responsive to...
our consciousness.
Exactly.
But how do we actually make that leap?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah, like how do we go from feeling stuck to experiencing these big transformations?
Right, where do we even begin?
Yeah, Dr. Dispenza, he talks about becoming supernatural.
Okay.
Which, I know, sounds a little out there.
A little bit.
But he's really talking about transcending our limitations.
Right, tapping into what's already inside us.
Exactly, and he gives us all these techniques and meditations.
Tactical stuff?
Yeah, to reprogram our subconscious, elevate our emotions.
Align with that quantum field.
Totally, so it's like we're learning to use our minds.
In a whole new way.
Yeah, like a mental upgrade.
Like upgrading your operating system.
Yeah, but it sounds like a lot of work.
It does take effort.
For sure.
But anything worthwhile does.
True.
Think of it like training for a marathon.
Okay.
Takes discipline, pushing your limits.
But then you get those incredible results.
Exactly.
So one technique that I was really interested in was the tuning in to new potentials meditation.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So You visualize a symbol that represents your goal.
Okay.
And then you feel all the emotions as if you've already achieved it.
Powerful stuff.
It is. You're like sending out this signal to the universe.
This is what I want. This is what I'm ready for.
Exactly. But then there's this whole idea of surrender.
Right. Letting go of control.
Which seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, it does. Right?
Or you're trying to manifest something.
You want to hold on tight.
Yeah.
But surrender is about trusting the universe.
Like it knows better than we do.
Yeah. Trusting that there's a bigger plan.
So we're not trying to force things.
Exactly. Just aligning with the flow of creation.
I love that. Okay, so some people might be skeptical.
Oh, yeah.
About all this quantum stuff.
Show me the proof.
Right. So what about the scientific evidence?
Well, there's actually quite a bit.
But
Dr. Dispenza's been doing research on meditation.
Okay.
They use brain imaging, like EEGs and fMRIs.
To see what's happening in the brain.
Exactly. And they've found some pretty amazing stuff.
Like what?
Meditation can actually change the structure and function of the brain.
No way. How does that work?
Well, for one, it strengthens the prefrontal cortex.
That's like the CEO of the brain, right?
Exactly. Planning, decision-making, emotional regulation.
So meditation helps us focus.
It makes us better decision makers, helps us manage stress.
Wow, it's like a brain upgrade.
It is, for sure.
What else?
It also calms the amygdala.
Which is the brain's alarm system.
Yeah, that fight or flight response.
So meditation helps us stay calm under pressure.
Exactly. Less reactive, more peaceful.
I like that. Any other brain benefits?
Yeah, they found that meditation increases the thickness of the corpus callosum.
That's the bridge between the left and right hemispheres.
Right, so it improves communication.
Between the two sides of the brain.
Exactly. Better creativity, intuition.
So it's like connecting the analytical and the creative.
Making the whole brain work better together.
That's amazing. So if we're serious about transformation,
meditation is key.
It's like the foundation.
For becoming conscious creators.
Okay, so let's talk about some real-life examples.
Right.
Dr. Dispenza's books are full of these inspiring stories.
They are. People who've overcome incredible challenges.
Yeah, like Jenny, she had chronic pain for years.
Couldn't even get out of bed.
But through meditation, she reversed her condition.
Completely healed.
That's amazing.
Shows the mind's power to heal the body.
And there's science to back it up.
Brain scans show people who meditate.
They experience less pain.
Even when exposed to the same painful stimuli.
So meditation rewires our brains.
Makes us more resilient.
And then there's Daniel. He had chronic headaches and fatigue.
Feeling drained and overwhelmed.
But through meditation, he overcame it.
Found new energy, mental clarity.
It's like he unlocked this hidden potential.
Exactly. Once you remove those limitations.
The possibilities are endless.
It's so inspiring.
It is. These stories show that
we're not just victims.
We have the power to create change.
To heal, to grow, to transform.
Okay, so let's go back to that research on meditation and immunity.
All right, so they're still in the early stages.
But it sounds promising.
It does. They're finding that this protective effect...
The one with the plasma.
Yeah. It's not just limited to lung cells.
So it's a broader immune boost.
That's what they think.
And they're still trying to find that mystery protein.
Right. The one that blocks viral entry.
Have they made any progress?
They've narrowed it down to a few candidates.
Okay.
And they're doing more experiments.
This is huge. It could change how we understand immunity.
Imagine the possibilities for preventing and treating infections.
It's incredible.
But if meditation is so powerful, why doesn't everyone do it?
Right. What are the obstacles?
Well, one of the biggest is just finding the time.
Our lives are so busy.
We're always rushing, always doing.
It's hard to slow down.
And even if you do find the time, quieting the mind can be tough.
It can. We're so used to that constant mental chatter.
Right, so just sitting still.
It can feel strained.
Uncomfortable at first.
And then there's this idea that you have to empty your mind completely.
Which is impossible.
Yeah, it can feel daunting.
But it's not about stopping thoughts.
It's about changing your relationship to them.
Exactly, becoming the observer.
Not the thinker.
So you create this space.
Between you and your thoughts.
Let them come and go.
I like cloud.
And you realize you're not your thoughts.
That's so liberating.
It is. It brings a sense of peace.
Okay, so for someone who's new to meditation, where do they even start?
Be patient with yourself.
It's a practice.
Not a destination.
So don't get discouraged.
If your mind wanders.
Or you can't sit still for long.
It takes time.
Like any new skill.
Start small, 5 or 10 minutes a day.
Consistency is key.
Better to do a little bit every day.
And a marathon session once a week.
Exactly, and find a quiet place.
Where you won't be interrupted.
Make sure you're comfortable.
And there are so many guided meditations.
Online, through apps.
Yeah, that can be really helpful.
They can guide you through the process.
Now, Dr. Dispenza talks about the 3 brains.
Oh, yeah, that's a great model.
The thinking brain, emotional brain, cerebellum.
So the thinking brain, that's the neocortex.
Processing information, making decisions.
Right. The emotional brain, that's the limbic system.
Feelings, emotions, memories.
And then the cerebellum.
Usually associated with movement.
But it also memorizes our habits and reactions.
So it's like the thinking brain is the architect.
Okay.
The emotional brain is the builder.
I like that.
And the cerebellum is the foreman, making sure everything gets built right.
That's a great analogy.
And when they're all working together,
that's when we experience flow.
Our thoughts, feelings, actions are aligned.
We create with ease.
But what if they're not in sync?
Then we feel stuck.
Like our thinking brain wants to change.
But the emotional brain is holding on.
And the cerebellum is reinforcing those old patterns.
Right. It's like an internal tug of war.
Leading to stress, anxiety. So how do we get them back on the same page?
Awareness and intention.
Practices like meditation, visualization.
Emotional regulation.
It's like we're conducting an orchestra.
Bringing all the instruments into harmony.
And as we get better at conducting,
we unlock our potential
to create the reality we desire.
Exactly.
Now, one thing I've always been fascinated by is suggestibility.
How open we are to influence.
Yeah, Dr. Dispenza talks about its role in the placebo effect.
And how we can use it for positive change.
So it's like our minds are constantly absorbing information.
From our surroundings.
And that shapes our beliefs.
Right.
Even our biology.
Right. And when we're more suggestible,
we're more receptive to those influences.
Both positive and negative.
So we need to be mindful of what we expose ourselves to.
Create a positive internal environment.
Like a mental filter.
Letting in the good, blocking out the bad.
So Dr. Dispenza tells this story about Santiago.
Oh yeah, the hypnosis experiment.
He was incredibly suggestible.
He could withstand physical challenges.
Even act against his own morals under hypnosis.
It's fascinating and a little bit scary.
It is. It shows the power of suggestion.
For both good and bad.
So how can we enhance our suggestibility?
In a positive way.
That supports our growth.
Oh, trust is key.
Trusting the source of the suggestion.
Whether it's a therapist, a mentor, or your own intuition.
So we're open to receiving guidance.
And relaxation helps too.
When we're relaxed, our minds are more open.
Simple ideas.
And repetition.
The more we expose ourselves to positive suggestions,
the more they sink in.
It's like watering seeds of change.
So we can rewrite our limiting beliefs.
And create a more fulfilling reality.
We become co-creators of our lives.
Shaping our experiences with intention.
But now, let's talk about the so what of it all.
Right. How do we actually use this?
Yeah, how do we make a difference in our lives and in the world?
That's the key, isn't it? It's one thing to understand these concepts,
yeah.
But how do we apply them?
To create real change.
And as we step into this role of conscious creators,
yeah.
We need to think about the ethics of it all.
It's like we've been given this powerful tool.
And we need to use it responsibly.
Exactly. Not just for ourselves, but for everyone.
So one of the most important things is intention.
What are we using this power for?
Are we just trying to get ahead?
Yeah, or are we coming from a place of love, compassion?
The desire to make things better.
It's a question we need to keep asking ourselves.
Are we manipulating reality for personal gain?
Or aligning with a higher purpose?
A vision that benefits everyone.
Like in spiritual traditions, they talk about right use of will.
It's not about denying our desires.
It's about channeling them.
Towards something greater.
In a way that's good for everyone. Because we're all interconnected, right?
Absolutely. Our actions have ripple effects.
We're all part of this web of life.
And that's reflected in the quantum field.
That sense of unity.
Where separation is just an illusion.
Everything is connected.
So as we become conscious creators,
we need to be responsible.
Compassionate.
Aware of this interconnectedness.
It's a shift from scarcity to abundance.
From competition to cooperation.
Dr. Dispenza talks about moving from a somebody to a nobody perspective.
It sounds kind of strange.
It does, but it's about transcending the ego.
Tapping into a bigger sense of self.
Connected to something greater.
So we're not just isolated beings.
We're expressions of a universal consciousness.
And from that place,
we can act in ways that benefit everyone.
It's that me to we shift.
Recognizing our well-being is tied to everyone else's.
And to the planet.
So could we use this to create a better world.
A more peaceful, sustainable world.
If our thoughts can influence reality,
could we collectively shift towards peace and justice?
It's a question people have been asking for a long time.
Yeah, can human consciousness impact global events?
And there's evidence that it can.
Collective meditation, prayer.
They've been shown to have effects on crime rates, conflict resolution,
even weather patterns.
Dr. Dispenza talks about the HeartMath Institute.
They study heart coherence.
That state of balance.
And their research suggests that when enough people achieve heart coherence,
it creates a ripple effect,
influencing collective consciousness,
fostering harmony and peace.
It's like we're all tuning into the same frequency.
A frequency of love and compassion.
And the more people tune in,
the stronger the signal gets.
Becoming a force for change.
Dr. Dispenza also mentions peace-gathering projects,
where people come together with a shared intention for peace.
And it's had measurable effects
on conflict and social transformation.
It's inspiring to see.
We're not powerless.
We can participate in creating a better future.
And the more we understand our interconnectedness,
the more we realize our choices matter.
Even small acts of kindness
can create a ripple effect.
So as we wrap up this deep dive
into consciousness, quantum physics,
the power of the mind,
let's leave our listener with a question.
If our thoughts and feelings can shape reality,
what potential are you ready to unlock?
What vision do you have for your life, for the world?
And what actions will you take
to bring that vision to life? Because transformation starts within.
By cultivating awareness,
embracing our interconnectedness,
aligning our intentions with the well-being of all,
we unlock the power to create a more conscious, compassionate, and harmonious world.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
We hope this inspires you to continue exploring these ideas
and to embark on your own journey of transformation.